Hey, welcome, Carnivore Warriors, to another empowering episode of the Carnivore Edition podcast. I'm so glad you could join me today. I'm Tracy with Get Real with Tracy. Thank you for joining me, and I am thrilled to be with you as we're coming up on this holiday season. I don't know about you, but I am planning ahead and I'm preparing myself because I know the temptation is going to be great. It can be very challenging this time of year for those of us that are committed to the carnivore lifestyle. There are so many tempting treats and indulgent feasts around the corner, but fear not, Today, we are going to provide you with the support and motivation you need to stay strong, stay focused, and be true to your carnivore principles. So, before we dive in, let me just take a few moments, encourage you to reflect on your why. Why did you switch to the carnivore way of eating? What is your reasoning for it? Is it to lose weight? Is it to heal your body and feel better? To cure some of these diseases that we're finding carnivore is having great success in helping people overcome diabetes and autoimmune diseases. I just met with a gal who has celiac disease and she's a carnivore, and it has really been making a difference in her life. And so think about those things. What is it that motivated you to embrace a diet centered around animal products and the carnivore lifestyle? So once you have that in your mind, and maybe write it down and maybe even put it on a post-it note to have around you to when you face these times of temptations, you won't be tempted because you'll remember your why. You just take a look at that, you keep it in the forefront of your mind, and then it will help you to have the willpower and the courage to say no to the sweets and the treats and to stay true to the carnivore diet this holiday season. Your body's going to feel better about it. I know one thing, like yesterday, I just was really wanting to have an eggnog. I met a gal at a coffee shop and I wanted an eggnog. I just really miss eggnog. And I make my own, the carnivore kind, but of course I was at a coffee shop. I needed to get something and I didn't have anything to eat. So in a moment of weakness with me missing having the eggnog, I had them make me just a little bit of eggnog, quite a bit of heavy whipping cream, and that's what I drank. And then I just put like a dash of real coffee in it just to give a little coffee flavor to it. But let me just tell you, carbs are a killer for us. And even just having that little bit of eggnog, I think that it was like 27 carbs. And I knew I was making a choice to do that. And I thought, well, it'll probably throw me out of ketosis, which I think it might have done. So I'll just stay back on the straight and narrow and get back on the horse again and stick with it this time. Because really, honestly, it really wasn't worth it. And probably within 2 hours of having that, an hour and a half maybe, I started to feel like, I don't feel that great and felt like I wanted to go take a nap. All those things that I remember so much from having a carb heavy lifestyle. So, think about those things, those tempting sugary delights or your favorite dish at this time of year. Like for me, my birthday is around Thanksgiving. So a lot of times I would just ask for a pumpkin pie instead of a cake because I love pumpkin pie. And I have come across some recipes. Pumpkin, again, is not carnivore. It has 1.5 carbs to a tablespoon of puree. If you get the pumpkin puree, which I did because I really wanted pumpkin. I feel like I'm missing out on the pumpkin spice and the eggnog season. This is when I really would just pig out on those things because I loved them so much. But I figured out how to make myself a mug cake. And it satisfied me. It wasn't the best. It wouldn't be the same as having a pumpkin pie, but it was enough. I put some whipped cream on top And it was enough for me to not feel deprived. So, figure out little things like that, little tricks that you can do to keep yourself on the straight and narrow as much as possible without feeling deprived. And I think more than anything, this holiday season, for me at least, is going to be more of a head game up here because I don't like to feel deprived. I don't know. Do any of you feel that way? And even though I'm very satisfied when I'm eating the carnivore lifestyle, I mean, it's been the easiest thing I've ever done, the easiest diet and the best results because I'm now pushing probably about 48 pounds that I have lost since June 1st, since being on the carnivore lifestyle. Remember those things. I'm thinking about why am I doing this? I've got another 120 pounds to go before I get down to where I really want to be, my goal weight. So I have to remind myself, why am I doing this? Do I really want to have those carbs? Are they just going to taste good for a moment and then afterwards I'm miserable? I don't know, maybe it was a good thing I had a little bit of the eggnog yesterday because I realized, it it didn't taste that great because I had it watered down quite a bit for the with the heavy whipping cream, which also wasn't probably the best for me because I have to be careful with dairy and that because my body will block up on it. So you have to just really think about these things. What is more important to you? I want to be healthy. I want to be able to get on an airplane to go visit my daughter and not have to ask for a seatbelt extender and feel uncomfortable, and that when my butt hangs over underneath the armrest, things like that. I don't want to feel that way anymore. I want to be able to get up and move instead of being to where I have to be sedentary all the time. Her family now up there in Canada, they're very active. They surf, they like to go hiking and climbing rocks. I don't want to do that, but I would like to go walk on the beach and maybe go on some nice small hikes, not the big uh, mega hikes that they like to go on, but a small hike. I want to be able to do that. And I can't do that when I'm overweight and inflamed and feeling miserable. So I have to keep my why very close up front here. So I remember that. So remember that our bodies thrive on animal based nutrition, and carbs can throw a real wrench in a well oiled machine. So don't let that happen to you. High carbs lead to inflammation, energy crashes, and that dreaded holiday weight gain. So it's crucial to stay mindful of your choices and remember that those carbs, remember what they do to your body. Remind yourself, find a good example where you felt like, oh my gosh, I will never do this again because I feel miserable. And keep that in the forefront of your mind because that will help you when you're tempted to give into those holiday treats. So you need to determine ahead of time that you're going to stick with this way of eating. Plan ahead. And I have created a playlist of carnivore recipes, which I will link in the descriptions below. So make sure you go to it. I've been just saving carnivore recipes in there so you can find some. There's holiday ones, there's some treat ones where you can make the mug cakes, and you can make them in many different ways. You don't have to put the pumpkin in like I chose to do. Do what's right for you. For me, a little bit of pumpkin, my body seems to tolerate it. So I just have to monitor myself, though, that I don't go all ballistic on it and have pumpkin mug cakes every day. I don't need to do that, but it's nice to have it every once in a while and feel like a reward. Like I've been doing really well. 48 pounds in 5 months is nothing to be ashamed of. 6 months, I guess we are now. No, 5 months. So yeah, you know, go ahead, find things that work for you. And I want to warn you on the carnivore recipes that I put in there. There are some like Chris Cookie Nashville. I love him. He does great things, but his wife is a ketovore and he's a carnivore. So he does his recipes for a ketovore and for a carnivore. So it's kind of nice. You get the double duty there. But if you're not a ketovore, just ignore the ketovore stuff. If someone like this pumpkin mug cake that I just told you about, if you want to stay strict carnivore, great. Do it. Do what's right for you. And leave out things that you think, oh, my body wouldn't do well with pumpkin. Leave it out. Or if your body would tolerate something different, figure that out for yourself. But don't get all upset like some people do. I got reprimanded from a carnivore Facebook page I was on because I shared a recipe that the gal also had a ketovore portion to the recipe as well. You could choose either way to go, and the admin didn't like it because it wasn't strict carnivore. So if you want to be strict carnivore, great. I am so happy for you. I want to eat in a lifestyle that works for me, and that is pretty much a strict carnivore diet. However, I am not opposed to introducing a few things in as long as I don't go overboard with them. So the pumpkin puree with 1.5 carbs, that's fine because I have kind of a goal to keep 20 carbs or less. If I do go over into bringing some carbs in, I really try and keep them low key. So do what works for you. Find what works best for you. So keep in mind what your goal is too and what you're working for. So if you're trying to improve your mental focus, get rid of some autoimmune issues that you've been having, losing the extra weight, whatever it is, whatever your reason is for doing carnivore, keep that in the forefront of your mind and then stay focused. Stay focused on what you're doing. So find the carnivore recipes for Thanksgiving dinner that are going to be around meat. I'm going to be going to a dinner where there's going to be about 20 people and there is going to be carbs galore there. It is going to be a temptation for me. And this is one thing that I will warn you about. Family and friends are the worst, man. They don't want to see you sticking to your diet and succeeding when they are blowing it big time. They don't want to feel guilty because they see you eating the way that you like to eat, and you're being mindful of what your body likes and what your body needs, and they're not. That makes people feel guilty a lot of times. So don't be surprised when they come out with, oh, come on, it's only one day. I mean, come on, what's a piece of pumpkin pie going to do to hurt you? Go ahead. They're going to really pressure you into blowing your diet because that makes them feel better. So you have to really make it a priority in your mind as to what you need to do, what works for you. And you know what? To be honest with you, I may choose to stay home. I may choose to not go because I know what I'm going to be faced with. They're going to be drinking a lot of wine. They like to drink a lot. I don't. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. If they want to do it, that's fine, great. But they're also going to try and encourage me to have a glass of wine, or they're going to try and encourage me to have the sweet potatoes or the Brussels sprout casserole that I used to love to make, and just different things. And all those things are going to be there, plus the psychological part of it. It's Thanksgiving, go ahead, just splurge the one time. It's not going to hurt you. But, just like I had that eggnog yesterday, that set me back. And I knew I made that choice, that it's going to set me back a few days. And so I'm going to have to get my body back in sync again. So really think through what you're going to do this holiday season. And, if it means not going, then don't go. And we'll see how things go. The holidays are short, but your carnivore journey is long. This is a way of life. This is how you're going to be eating. So if you're just starting out like me and you're facing this holiday season, maybe it's best, if you go after dinner and, hang out with them and have that family fellowship, friendship, whatever. But where that temptation's not as strong, I might choose to do that because I just don't really want to be so tempted and have the peer pressure put on me. I think I'm pretty strong and I think I could say, no, thanks. I appreciate it. However, I do know there's a couple of friends that are going to really pressure me a little bit harder. So I don't want to do that. And I understand that, they don't want to feel guilty because they're blowing their diet and you're not. So, you know, what's the best thing for you and what's the best thing for your friends? So arm yourself with carnivore friendly options, plan your meals ahead of time, and make a commitment to stand strong in this lifestyle that you've chosen. Remind yourself why. It's not a temporary fix. It's a long-term run. You're going to have to run this race. It's a marathon, and you're going to have to really pace yourself and think about what's coming ahead. So make sure that you just hold firm in what is right for you. Listen to your body and what it's telling you. So let's make a pledge together right now. Say, I am committed to my carnivore lifestyle and I will stay focused on my why. I will not let holiday temptations derail my progress. I am strong, I am resilient, and I am in control of my choices. That is a good one to remember. You have control over your choices. You can choose to give in or you can choose to stand strong. So just remember to keep your commitment to the carnivore way of life. Why are you doing it? Keep your why in front of you. Remember, you're not alone. This is where the carnivore community is here to support you every step of the way. So reach out to your fellow carnivores for advice. Share your successes. Let this holiday season be a triumph for all of us over our health and our well-being. So make sure, if you have questions, please comment below and please ask them. And I am here. I would definitely just love to be your friend and to walk this journey with you. It'd be a pleasure to have you alongside me. I need the encouragement just as much as everybody else does, because I'm looking forward to the day where I can say I succeeded and I lost all the weight that I needed to lose. I think it's going to end up being around 160 pounds, a whole me. I was carrying two people with me for way too long. And I want to get back to where just the one person, because much easier on my body and I do much better. So that's a wrap for this holiday episode of the Carnivore Edition podcast. Remember, stay strong, stay focused, and most importantly, stay carnivore. Until next time, this is Tracy, and wishing you a happy holidays. God bless you, carnivore warriors. Stand strong. You can do it. And I will see you next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.